these kind of things, folks. Just take it upon yourself. Now, here's something I'm going to do. I've got a four-wheel drive van. It's a 94 Grand Caravan Chrysler product. I'm going to set that van up with a crossband portable repeater, a wideband digital scanner that scans 6,000 channels, and every communications two-way radio at my disposal. And that thing is going to serve as a mobile command center or contact relay center in an emergency. And I'll be mobile with that in 5 minutes because it'll be sitting there waiting for me. Now, I've got the expertise to be able to do that. I've got 30 years in radio and a little bit of money I'm making with the Silver Project. That's my project, okay? You need to each one make a goal like that, something that you can do. Nick is set up pretty well. Ted, you could be set up like that. There's a whole bunch of people in this room, and more that didn't come today, that have already started down that road. And in my mind, that's the most practical thing that we can do, is to set up a communications network. And I don't care where you buy your radios. I can give you some real good internet prices, but there's other places you can get radios. You just need to know what to get, what frequencies to operate on, what kind of a license you need so they can't confiscate your radio lawfully. It's up to you to make sure they don't confiscate it really. But, you know, they'd have to do it unlawful. Okay, so, and then there's other things. Now, I'd like to steer this in another direction here. And I think we could probably keep this thing going until 6 o'clock, but I don't want to do that. I think another 10 or 15 minutes and I want to go. But how are we going to insulate Lincoln County from this currency meltdown? I've asked that over and over at Republican meetings and other meetings. How are we going to insulate Lincoln County, Montana from this devaluation of the dollar? Ideas, anybody?
We all have our own portfolios, and people don't want to be lectured to or whatever. So my thinking is a little gold, a little silver, you take care of your own.
Well, that's the way I've thought for a long time. If you can accumulate some silver or gold, also some food. I mean, let's face it, folks, you can't eat that. Okay? You can take all the gold and silver and dump it in the deepest hole in the ocean and nobody's going to starve to death the next day. So, there may come a time when the precious metal of choice is lead, because at least you can make some bullets out of it and shoot something to eat and defend your family. But it's the things that you can do in the meantime while you have that medium of exchange. Here's the history of it. 1971, Richard Nixon took us off the gold standard. 1980, gold was 24 times its value and silver was 39 times. So let's just say that in 1971, when you saw Richard Nixon do that, you said to yourself, I think I better protect myself a little. I'm going to take 10% of my wealth. I'm a millionaire, so I'll take $100,000 and buy gold. Okay, 10%. Well, the stock market went sideways during the 70s, and the real estate market went in the toilet. And in 1980, you could take $1,000 silver dollars and go buy a home. That's going to happen again. So let's say during the stock market and housing that you lost the whole other $900,000 of your wealth, and all you had left in 1980 was the gold that you bought back in 1971 for $100 grand. You were now worth $2.4 million. And if you'd have bought silver back then, you were now worth $3.9 million. Okay? The crowd always rushes in at the end, and they all get slaughtered. So one of the things I'm doing, put it this way, on the internet, the only way to make a living is to get yourself in front of a major trend and create a market in front of a wave. So the wave is coming along and you're right in front of it. And so you've got demand for a product that retains its value during a currency collapse. That's silver and gold and palladium and platinum. But I say that silver is the best because it's the poor man's gold, and number two, it's an industrial precious metal. In 1986, when they started making the Silver Eagle dollar, lawful money in the U.S., finalized that walking liberty design, and started stamping those at the West Point Mint in New York, there was 2,200,000,000 ounces of silver in circulation, available for collectors, available for coin shops, and so on. Take a wild flying guess how much silver is available today. 300,000,000 ounces, if that. The reason? Every time they make a laptop computer, they use up an ounce of silver. Every time they make a cell phone, they use up some silver. Silver is in short supply right now, and it's going to get shorter big time. So you couple that with the devaluation of the currency, and it's only a matter of time until the boys on Wall Street lose control of the silver market. And when that happens, in the process of all of this, we're trying to wake up as many people as we can, and that's the only excuse morally for me, because I'm not going to be a bit bashful when it comes time for that to take place. I'm going to sell all my silver, and I'm going to get into cash flow real estate, or food, or guns, or ammo, or, I mean, I can name a zillion things that are far more important than precious metal. Go ahead.
If the dollar is getting less and less value as we're sitting there talking, but if we buy silver, how do you go about getting things? How are you going to go trade it?
Well, that's one of the reasons that I recommend silver, because it's very negotiable. Most people can't afford gold coins, and if you pull a $20 gold piece, 1 ounce out of your pocket, who the heck can make change for that? It's worth $1,000.
Plus, the currency shortage, so you have a dozen eggs.
Yeah.
I'll take that piece of gold you got.
Yeah.
So it's kind of good to have that silver.
So silver is much more negotiable because it's a smaller denomination. Right now it's worth about $20 or a little bit less. The time will come when silver goes to hundreds of dollars per coin, but it'll still be negotiable. You could get half dollars. There's lots of ways to break that. You can buy junk silver, bags of coins that are 90% silver, pre-64. There's a lot of ways to do that and negotiate the silver. But there will come a time, you're absolutely right, Guy, when that silver, you won't be able to trade it for jack, nothing. Then we get back to the barter system where you're trading food, you're trading things that you can get your hand on that you can really use to stay alive. Now, God forbid that this should all happen. God have mercy on America. But we should prepare for the worst and hope for the best.
Back in
Go ahead.
Back in '99, we lived down in Darby, and at that time we had monthly meetings prior to Y2K. It never happened. And Don and I were kind of the babies there. Mostly older folks that maybe remember stories of the Depression and whatnot.
Yeah.
And some of the things they talked about, if somebody's a diabetic, it'd be good to have if you could get an extra month of that stuff. Certain things, and it was kind of know your neighbor, how you can help each other. Because if there is a currency crisis, we're in a world of hurt, and the better we know each other as neighbors, the more we can help each other out.
That's the main reason for this meeting, is to visit with each other, learn who we can trust, and put a plan of action in motion so that we can prove the things that have only been hearsay up until now. Over here. Go ahead, Chris.
I just wanted to say something about, getting the community together. The word militia is very scary.
That's right.
Just to be blunt here, you're very scary. The people don't trust you, they're scared of you. If, like, say, Nick was to say something, the whole town would listen. And I know that's a cold, hard fact, but the thing is that when all that happened back then, people started fearing the militia, anti-government, so they're
Because that's what the news media is.
right, so coming to this meeting might be about militia, it might be anti-government, and it might need to be more than one meeting because of just the social drama and politics of Eureka. We're not going to get action just by you speaking, and no offense, I think
That's
it's great,
right.
but people aren't going to listen because of the fear that was instilled.
That's right.
back
My
then.
reputation precedes me.
Right.
And I'm perfectly willing to turn this microphone over to any of you. You just do it. I just didn't see anybody doing anything.
Right, and I
So-
understand that. You see, most of the time you stick up for people and they take a shadow and they don't want to stand up.
That's right.
But the thing is, and I guarantee you online on all my sites, this gentleman speaking is going to get the town to go, okay, it happened.
Yeah.
And that's important, and I don't mean to
Precisely.
put the attention on you. I mean, that's the small town politics and so far for that's here.
Precisely why we invited the people that I witnessed it. It's pretty hard to argue with somebody that's standing here and saying, I saw this with my own 2 eyes. And people that are just average people in the community that make their living here, that know a lot of people here. I've logged here for 26 years and cut 3 million trees. But I'll admit, most of the time I've hidden in the woods.